This is TWiT.
I really appreciate Lenovo sort of sending this over so that I can get a look at it. Now, I apologize. I no longer have my cool little camera set up. I'm trying something new for 2021. So I'm gonna hold it up, talk about it a little bit, okay? So this is a $130 tablet. It's sold at Walmart and a lot of other places. This is the Lenovo Smart Tab M10 HD, 2nd gen. Now, those are with Google Assistant. Now, it's important that you keep all of that in mind because there is a version that just has Amazon's Assistant on it. There is another version. There's a couple different versions of this, but this is the Smart Tab M10 HD, 2nd gen with Google Assistant. Inside this thing, it's got a MediaTek Helio P22T, which is not really a processor that you hear a lot about, and you'll understand why when I talk about performance. 2 gigs of RAM in this model that I've got here in my hand, although it's available up to 4 gigabytes, 16 gigs of storage with a micro SD slot available. There is also up to 64 gigabyte available if you want to pay the extra money. 10.3-inch 1280 by 600 resolution display. It's also got USB-C charging, which I really appreciate. And it comes with this really nice charging dock. So I'm just going to show you the dock here on camera. You can kind of see it. It just rests nicely on the table. But this charges by micro USB. So you get 2 cords in the box. And this is buried underneath the tablet. But I have to say that when it's all together, it does look really nice. Let's see if I can do this just to kind of show you. That's upside down. Never mind. Here we go.
Don't do it that way.
This nice little right here. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Like that.
Nice.
So let's talk about a couple other little things. Design. Now, this tablet weighs less than a pound, not even a pound. It is super light. It's pretty straightforward tablet, though. It's just a nice black tablet with a slightly slate gray back that looks very dark in my photo. Now, this reminds me a lot, actually, of the Nexus 9, but it's so much lighter than the Nexus 9, and it's made by Lenovo, not HTC. Now, there are enough bezels around the edges to kind of like have something to hold on to if you're reading or watching something, but they don't, they kind of add a little buffer between your hands and the screen. At the top is a 5 megapixel camera, good enough for just your standard Google Duo, or it's pretty much just good for Google Duo. That's it. It's also got facial recognition, so if you want to unlock using your face, you can. Kind of a cool thing, especially since this tablet is kind of geared towards kids. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. 8 megapixel camera on the back. You've got this guy right here. Again, nothing to write home about. At the bottom, as you saw, there are magnets. How do they work? They work with the dock. So when you put the dock on there, it kind of seats it nicely. And I will say it was seated in there well enough that Mona wasn't able to knock it off. Because she definitely saw it, came over, started pawing at it. But not enough for her little baby hands, I guess, to knock it over, which was kind of nice. And again, it's for kids, so something to keep in mind. There's also a headphone jack. That's here. Yay. You can just plug in a pair of headphones. Now, just in terms of design, this is all Android tablets need to be. Just something nice and simple, easy, light. Now, the display has a really nice color ratio. Gosh, I should have been a little more prepared with maybe a wallpaper or something to show you. I'll tell you there's about an 87% screen to body ratio on this. So good color and good ratio overall. Laptop Magazine reviewed this a couple months back. Actually, they reviewed a slightly different model, but they measured that model's display at about 99% of the sRGB color gamut. So, I guess I could... Photos look as they were taken. Oh, you cannot see through my webcam what this looks like. That just looks awful. Don't go by my webcam. Now, the display is not very bright compared to a couple other tablets on the market, like the Amazon Fire tablets, Fire HD, I don't know their names, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. Audio on this thing is pretty good for watching TV. I watched some YouTube TV today on it, and I could hear dialogue very clearly. Action sounds, if you want to watch something with action and you want pure sounds, watch it on a big screen. That's my suggestion. Performance. If 2 gigs of RAM worried you when I mentioned it earlier, you have lots of reason to be worried because this thing it can be really slow. I'll tell you, last night I was trying to do some Christmas shopping through the Nordstrom Rack site on Google Chrome, and it was so slow that I just kind of gave up and just did it on my phone because there was just no point. Sometimes the touch mechanism is really slow, which can be really frustrating. Apps like Adobe Spark, they ran, and I could go in and change fonts and things of the sort, but when it was loading, gosh, it would take like a really long time. It was really frustrating. So I don't know if this is something that you would game with, which might be a concern if you're thinking about it for the kiddos. The battery life, I didn't get such a good feel for it just because I had it docked a lot. But some reviews have said that this tablet can last up to 9 hours. Now, most tablets in this price range typically last between 12 and 13 hours. So just something to keep in mind. That's kind of the benchmark that you're looking for a tablet of this price range. Now, this tablet shipped with Android 9 out of the box, but I updated it, and it now has Android 10. So it's still one version behind where we are now. Now, the big sell here is the ambient mode and the kid mode. The ambient mode is a little bit like the smart display, although it doesn't pop up quite the same. You kind of have to go into the settings and do a little trickery to get it to work. It does work if you turn on the assistant voice command. So something to keep in mind. It's kind of a 2-for-1 if you know somebody who doesn't already have a smart display or a smart speaker. There's also a kids mode, which I will tell you is called Kidspace. And there, my finger's backwards. And there's a little icon. It looks like a little twisty dreidel sort of thing.
Yeah.
I can't log into it because it wants me to create an account for Mona, and I just don't think she's quite that age that I want to do that right now. So I didn't go through the whole process, but I read a couple of quick reviews on it, and it's from Google. So it's Google's version of Android for kids. And so that's something that you can set up, and that's sort of what the tablet is really geared for. And that'll just kind of give you a launcher with like games and teach-friendly, I think it's called teach-friendly apps, videos, books, things of the sort. I think for a tablet like this, that's a really good sell, but the 2 gigs of RAM really worries me. Kids know if something is slow, especially in this day and age. And if you're getting kind of a so-so performance out of a tablet and you want to give kids something that's really like graphic heavy and lots of, movement, you want to get something that can make that happen for them. But overall, if what you're looking for is just a cheap tablet, maybe you want to do some reading, you just want to do some YouTube TV watching in bed, it's $150. That's as much as like a cheapo TV that you would just get, off the rack at Target or whatever. So, think about it as that. It's it's a $150 tablet. Do I wish I had a little bit more RAM? Yes. Do I think that you should maybe throw a little more money to get something that is a little more powerful if you want to buy this for the kids? Yes. But if you wanted to get this for maybe a parent or somebody who just isn't like super techie, but maybe wants to work with the assistant a little bit and wants to do a little reading and watching TV, again, $150. So if you're thinking about it, it's sold at Walmart. It's sold by Lenovo, and might be something that you add last minute to your cart. And actually, just to say, it's $130 starting price. So
is it safe to say this is like a non-power user device?
100%. I'll probably end up using this for a bit until I send it back, just like read. Again, the display on it is really good. I didn't mind the color scheme. It has like the night mode situation, which really helps. And I use Moon Reader Pro, which I get unlocked with my Play Pass subscription. And I like that because it has all these different night modes. So there's customization options that you can do to sort of work with what is inside the tablet. But again, it's $130. So you're getting what you're paying for.
The vibe that I get from hearing you talk about this and kind of seeing the promotional photos and the way that the dock works is maybe less that this is a tablet that's designed to be a kid's tablet. The vibe that I get is this is designed to be a smart display that can also be used as a tablet if you really want to do that. Like some of the smart displays that release, like they're literally like fixed into the mount, right? All their entire purpose is to be that assistant smart display sort of thing. And this can do that, but then you can remove it and do some of the extra tablet-y stuff if you really want to. It's not the best at it. It's not going to excel at being a tablet, but you can do it if you really want to. And that kind of seems to me what the strength of a device like this is. 2 gigs of RAM is nothing. I mean, anyone's going to run into issues with 2 gigs of RAM nowadays. That's just too low.
I mean, it couldn't even load the Nordstrom Rack website, which is just ridiculous on Chrome. It would just take forever to load. And I know that the way like the web is coded now, everything is being dynamically loaded. And so if your tablet can't do that, it gets really frustrated. I understand that sell because that's kind of how it was pitched to me as like, this is a smart display / tablet situation. But if it's for kids, I want something that's a little more speedy, something a little more functional. Because I'm happy with what I have with the kids mode in the smart displays now. So I don't know. You could also think about it as like a picture frame. Maybe you want to buy like an assistant enabled picture frame. But again, how's that any different from a smart display?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a couple things to think about there.
For sure.
It's $130.
And
you know what? Just to end on one other note, I think this might be a little bit better than what you would get with like an On tablet, which is the house brand of Walmart. So
I was doing price searching on.
You mean it's on no.
Yes, on no.
Yeah.
I think probably so. Cool. That's the Lenovo Smart Tab M10 HD 2nd gen. It's a mouthful, but there you go. With Google Assistant.
Because remember, there's an Amazon version.
Yeah, that's good to know.